All right, folks, here's the latest on the coronavirus situation here in Rhode Island. This at least coming from the governor's office and their latest presser just a few hours ago. The governor describing it as an evolving situation with the level of risk for Rhode Islanders still being low. Now, there are 2 confirmed cases of coronavirus here in Rhode Island. There's a third person who technically lives in Massachusetts, but that person has tested positive. They're connected to the St. Ray's Academy trip to Italy. So ostensibly, there are 3 related to Rhode Island who are confirmed. There's approximately 200 who are currently in self-quarantine. Now, this is just a voluntary procedure. I asked the governor, are there any measures you may take if this were to expand, the coronavirus numbers were to expand and people were to just say, you know what, I'm not going to cooperate with the quarantine. She said, as of right now, no need for such implementation, but she would potentially use her powers if need be. So right now, her strategy, the strategy of the Department of Health, seems to be focused on containment. Here's some of the latest new developments that they have implemented. They've created a hotline, 401-222-8022. Anybody who has any questions about coronavirus, anybody who has any symptoms they want to report, if you're kind of freaking out, they advise calling that hotline. And before going to any kind of hospital or anything like that, they say call ahead of time so you can essentially utilize some form of telemedicine to assess whether or not you should be going in. Now, there's a team of CDC specialists here on the ground in Rhode Island. Now, this was prompted, the governor says, from the fact that this outbreak, quote unquote, at least emerged from a school. And at the same time, also, Rhode Island could potentially be seemingly a pilot program for understanding how to contain this situation. Again, there's only 2 confirmed people here in Rhode Island with it, but the CDC on the ground, the emphasis on containment. All right, the governor calling on all organized scholastic trips, other organizations, overseas trips to be canceled. I reported earlier today that the Rhode Island School of Design has canceled all of their study abroad programs for the rest of the semester. Dr. Nicole Alexander Scott, Rhode Island Department of Health Director, describing a strong, coordinated effort on this rapidly evolving situation. Other elements, state employees who have traveled to hotbed countries are told to take 14 days off, 14 asymptomatic days off from work. The governor urging employers around the state to have a similar practice. That's, again, for someone who may have traveled to Italy, China, Japan, South Korea, Iran, the other hotbed countries here, and then returned to Rhode Island. Those people advised by the state not to come to work for 14 asymptomatic days. So that's the latest. No major breaking news in this press conference today. A full cast of media members from around the entire, all languages. This is a coordinated communications effort, if nothing else. And we'll continue to monitor it here on the Bartholomew Town podcast, on Instagram, and elsewhere.